Hi everyone, come on in. I'm Susan from Joey 5 Cents. We are in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. This is my barn. It serves as living space and studio space. We moved this to our property about 10 years ago from an old structure, moved the timber frame and rebuilt it onto our property. We have an old house, so it worked in tandem with the house. And it was a labor of love, but it serves as our muse, our inspiration, a creative space. It's somewhere I love to come every day. So it's broken down into 3 bays. I am in the far bay, but I wanted to show and share this table where I basically lay out my studs. But this table is special because it's an old library table that we covered with old book covers because the top was like not so exciting to look at. Used to be our dining room table, but now it's kind of like the centerpiece of this space. And I use it to lay out my studs, which are very tiny and come in and out very quickly. They're super popular, so I lay them out to see the colors and patterns so I can work with them. Likewise with my belt buckles, I like to spread them out and kind of see what I've got when I'm either putting an order together or getting ready for a show. So my studio is over here. At the edge is this wardrobe cart, this clothing rack, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to be here. But it has a slew of vintage shirts, full-on polyester from the 70s that I bought at a flea market, and I love them. I use them on my mannequins. I say that if my jewelry were clothing, it would look like this, so I keep them here. I love them. They also serve to obscure my collection of antique dictionaries, which are basically the cornerstone of my business. They're huge and cumbersome and unsightly, so they tuck away nicely behind the shirts. This box right here is something I came across recently at a library sale. It's old scientific botanical books, completely falling apart, stained, smelly, but there's something there. I love to find things that I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with, but spark a little idea, tuck them away until I see that through. So that's something else I like to do, put them behind there. The more official way of storing my books is in this old high safe. This was one of the first pieces I had my materials in, and it's a little more organized, but basically I put my books in here and draw from them. I tend to go through phases. This was my phase when I was pulling a lot from these old birding books, so I was scooping them up whenever I found them. And many times I'll buy duplicates of things because I like what's in there and I want to make more than one. So that's where I can find those. And then sometimes I'll get tired of that, I'll put them away, but then rediscover them in a different way down the line. So that's where a lot of the source material goes. Then once I dig into them and cut them up, they are in pieces, so they go in this little cabinet. This is an old jewelry cabinet from Philly that we found. It was kind of musty and a mess, so we sprayed it, made labels for it, and all these little drawers hold bits of materials that I've cut up, drawn from, but still have a lot of life left in them. I like to save every little scrap, like I save everything. Even if it looks like there's nothing left, there usually is. So I like to put things away, and I know where to go and find them when I'm done. So moving into here, this is where I work. It's broken down into 3 sections, 4 if you include my computer space. Over here is where I have a lot of my old chain that I've bought either online or dug through boxes at an old factory in New York to get spools of this. We made this holder from an old pool cue holder from the trash, and my husband fashioned it into this great display that allows me to just pull the chain that I need and cut it as needed. Obviously I like old things and old drawers and old display units, so I have a lot of things that are just filled with treasures that I access when I feel the need to. Vintage wallpaper is another source I use a lot. It's very hard to store. My grandparents' old picnic basket is a perfect way to kind of make them fun and exciting, but also allows me to pull from them as I need to. So that's what's right there. This table right here is where I do the majority of my work, but once I resin everything, I put it together, and I like to surround myself with kind of this, I guess some people would call it clutter. I thrive off of that. I like things around me. I like to look at all of this stuff. I like to look at vintage pieces. I like this old cash register drawer for my findings. This feeds me. So I also have this table where I have things separated in baking trays. A lot of tiny vintage pieces that are hard to access or store, so I like to put them in these little trays. And the kind of centerpiece of this table is this old bread tray, which is enormous, but has these great pockets, and my very old beaded chain kind of makes its home there in a way that I like to look at, and it's just easy to access as well. These ladders over here are another thing that I love to look at as well. We found these at old barn sales and flea markets and added the hooks, so a lot of these chains and cut leather, these are all ready to go just to add pendants. They've already been prepared. I have the belt straps for all my belt buckles arranged by size, and a lot of it is just raw chain also. So it's an easy way to kind of see it. I like how it looks, and I can pull from it very easily. This is my computer over here where I do all my desk work. And then over here is where I do a lot of my photography. This railroad cart is a nice background with the old wood. It gets the natural light from these amazing French doors that we salvaged. Right now I'm laying out some wholesale orders, so it's a nice way to spread out and kind of see them put together. I also have my mannequin here with one of my shirts that I can dress up and photograph there as well. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my tour. I really enjoyed showing it to you. The barn is kind of a character unto itself. It's a place that is really special to us. It's, like I said, a living space, a creative space, a constant source of inspiration, and it's important that we sort of surround ourselves with all the things that are special to us. One of my favorites is this Kim Fox piece that I got at a Handmade arcade, probably my first Handmade arcade, and kind of says it all, home sweet home. Even though this barn is not our house, it is our home and studio and living space, and it's just somewhere that I love to come every day. I feel very grateful that I can do this and do what I do here. It's somewhere I thrive. So thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it.